From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Hello everyone. Weather, of course, is the main focus here at Weather NorCal, right? But that's, of course, that's the title, right? That's the name of the channel, Weather NorCal. But there's some fun along the way too. Turtle Bay, wonderful world of animals. We learned about the animals at Turtle Bay with Sharon Clay. You can check out all the episodes at weathernorcal.com. Animal Family. Check out the Animal Family segment. Also, NorCal Ag. Agriculture is a big part of NorCal community. So check it out. Also have an ag report. You can check that out at weathernorcal.com. And by the way, these two are available on the free Weather NorCal app as well. So check that out. Also, if you're in a hurry, you're in the right place if you want a detailed forecast, right? That's where you can go every morning, right here. But if you're in a hurry and you want to get the forecast in about a minute just to know what to expect for today, then go to Kruger's QuickCast and we'll get that forecast for you in a quick glance so you know what to expect. Just go to weathernorcal.com, forecast videos. Of course, you can also go to the forecast video section in the Weather NorCal app as well. All right, so the heat wave, it peaks today and tomorrow. All right, so we're talking mainly sunny, dry, and including the mountains. The mountains will be dry as well, but not as hot near the end of the week, with more pleasant conditions here for your Father's Day weekend. And it looks like we're talking maybe upper 80s, but I do expect to possibly even see some low 90s in there. Take a look at the highs we saw yesterday. Now, Redding yesterday saw a high of 105 degrees. Just 1 degree shy of that record, by the way. Now, today, forecasting a high of 106. The record's 110. Set back in 1918. That's 1918, not 1918-1. But 1918 is when that record was, right? We take you to Wednesday, the forecast high way down, but still hot of 98, nowhere near that record of 109 set back in 2015. Take a look at Red Bluff. Now you may have heard, right? Red Bluff actually broke a record yesterday. Saw a high yesterday of 105, breaking the record of 104 set in 2014. Today, a high of 104 to 105, we are going to be getting close to that record of 106 set back in 1985, but of course nowhere near that record of 110, also set back in 2015. So just kind of a reminder, when is the first time, in the records for Redding, first time we've hit 90 plus was April 6th. May 4th was 100 degrees for the first time. That was the earliest we've seen it hit 100 degrees. And then the first time we've hit 110 degrees is June 17th. Let's hope we don't break that record or get anywhere near that. But of course, you can kind of see some of those thresholds that we look at here. Take a look at your neighborhood forecast at a glance, and it's warming up out there. 106 in the valley, temperatures 80s and 90s for the higher elevations. And yes, of course, the coast is the cool spot. We take a look at those winds this afternoon. Unfortunately, they are picking up a bit. You'll notice gusts 20 to even 30 miles per hour in the valley. Still a bit gusty along the coast as well. Taking you into tomorrow morning, those winds still a little breezy at times. That's going to contribute to some warmer temperatures, by the way, which is also a precursor of some of those hot temperatures we see in the afternoon. Still a tad breezy on Wednesday, but not as bad. Still some breezy conditions out of the west for the eastern mountains, and yes, those north winds out along the coast. So what does this mean for our humidity? What can we expect? Well, unfortunately, still looking at those single digits and in the teens, lower teens for the valley. More of the same taking you into your Wednesday as well. And our fire danger, well, unfortunately today may be the highest we've seen so far for the season, coming out of the northwest with those winds, and you're getting into those oranges and reds, getting in that very high category. That's what we're looking at here for today. Taking you into your Wednesday, you'll notice it's not quite as extreme, but still getting in that high to very high category for Wednesday. So yes, we are in the fire season and we need to start really taking those necessary precautions. Storm systems are riding to our north. They're staying to our north. We've got high pressure in place right now, and that is what's allowing our temperatures to increase. Now, this is not the strongest of ridges we've ever seen, when you look at this, you know, well, what's the big deal, right? Especially if you know what you're talking about with weather. But typically, the major heat waves, you have more of a ridge doing something like this. So all of this is like the deeper shades of orange and reds that we see here. But you see how we're just kind of looking at this heat. That's the heat, by the way, that impacted us last week. This is the heat. Both, the combination of the two, will be impacting us today and tomorrow. Now, what's happening is we've got this area of low pressure right here. That's kind of breaking down a little bit. This is not quite as hot. And then the cooler air riding to the north. So the combination of this and these storm systems riding to our north is preventing this heat from expanding more to the north. And as a result, yes, it's hot. We broke records yesterday. We broke a record yesterday. We're getting close to it again today, but it's not as hot as it could be. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so look what happens as we get toward the end of the week. Okay, we're going to take you into Thursday. This cooler air is kind of diving down to the south. Now, yesterday, this forecast model was showing this eventually coming down over Northern California. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case now. But what's happening is this heat's expanding to the north and east. This warm air is kind of pushing off to the east. This is being pushed down to the south. Thanks to this guy up here, that's giving us the relief we expect over the weekend. That rides up to the north, but we have more cool air coming in from the Gulf of Alaska, once again preventing this heat from moving in and preventing this heat from moving in. And as a result, our temperatures will most likely be around or just below normal for this time of the year. And there you can see the Climate Prediction Center long range has us in that near normal category. We'll certainly take it. But we still got to get through the next couple of days because we do have an excessive heat warning for the valley and the surrounding foothills. Highs between 97 and 106 degrees. Of course, those upper 90s will be more like the higher elevations, whereas the 105, 106 will be in the valley. But those overnight lows, that's also the key to these excessive heat warnings, because when we struggle to get out of the 70s, that's when we start having problems because we don't get much relief in those overnight hours, and that's when things can get a little bit more dangerous when we're talking about the heat risk. So here's a look at the heat risk for today. We have a lot of reds in here, but I want to remind you last week with the heat wave, we saw a lot more red on this map here. So yes, we've got the red indicating the major heat risk. What that means is for everyone, you just need to be weather aware. And what I mean by that is, be aware of what your body is saying to you if you're outside, doing any kind of work or any kind of exercise. Drink plenty of water, take breaks when you need it. Okay, then as we go into Wednesday, what's happening is we're getting less of that red. We're getting more in that moderate category. So especially the elderly, young children, these are the people that are most susceptible to this heat. So be sure to look out for them. But of course, look out for yourself as well, because we still have some of the reds sprinkled in there as well. But check out the trend. We go into Thursday. We're more in that minor to moderate category. That's what the yellow is. That's the minor. And then this green here, that is little to none. But look at this. By Friday, we're mainly in the minor category, and going into the weekend on Saturday, there's no orange on the map. We are talking little to none to minor. That's phenomenal. So yes, we're getting that break from the heat later this week and into this weekend. There's some of the fog we do expect to see probably maybe linger around the coast, especially around the Eureka area. That'll continue into tomorrow morning and then going into tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, it kind of breaks up a little bit, probably a little bit more sunshine for the coast for Wednesday morning. And of course, not to mention as we go into Thursday, there you can see, again, maybe some of those low clouds, a little bit of fog in the area. But our wave heights, looks like they're not too terribly high here for today, this afternoon. But as we go into Wednesday, you can see they are going to start to increase a little bit. Although that being said, this afternoon, there is a small craft advisory. The winds will eventually increase up to about 15 to 20 knots. So conditions aren't that bad this morning, but they are expected to deteriorate if you need to be out on the waters here as we go through the afternoon and into this evening. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mainly in the 90s. There's Ruth about 90, 91 degrees for Hayfork, and 96 degrees in Weaverville. We take you out to the north coast, taking to southern Humboldt County and central Humboldt Humboldt County, Eureka 63, 72 for Blue Lake, and 88 for Garberville. Look at those temperatures, 61 to 62 really for the next 7 days. 83 degrees for Gasquet, 83 in Orleans. Temperatures kind of going up a little bit, but then back down, and we stay down into the 70s here for the weekend and into early next week. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, yeah, you're in the low 90s for many of those warmer spots like Mount Shasta City, about 90, 91 degrees for McLeod, 90 in Happy Camp, but there you can see Hornbrook, about 89 degrees and 81 degrees in Doris. There, of course, are those temperatures around 90, 80s for Friday, and in the 70s for Saturday and Sunday. How about that Modoc County neighborhood forecast? Well, temperatures there should mainly be in the upper 80s, although some of the warmer spots like Eagleville getting up to about 90 could touch that 90-degree mark in Alturas for a short period of time. Warming up a little bit for Wednesday, Thursday, and then back down to the 70s by this upcoming weekend. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the 90s, even some upper 90s in there, about 97 degrees for Greenville, 96 in Susanville, as well as Paradise and Shingletown, but Viola, much cooler at about a high of about 87 degrees. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor, kind of that west side of the valley. Around 100 degrees here. Corning 103, 101 for Hamilton City, 103 in Chico. As we take you up north, it's going to be a bit hotter, about 106 degrees for Redding, 106 for Red Bluff. Temperatures are dropping a little bit here and then even more so by the end of the week, and especially as we go into the weekend. Looking at your 7-day forecast for Redding, about 106 degrees today and tomorrow, back down to the upper 90s by Thursday, Friday, low 90s by the weekend, and even going into early next week.
At Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic and Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic, we're here to provide the best possible care for your patients. We understand that your pet is your family member, and when your family member is sick, they need urgent help.
All our staff is so passionate about the care that goes into all your little creatures. Making relationships with pet parents here in Cottonwood is the greatest feeling in the world. Come find us off the Gas Point exit here in the heart of Cottonwood.